So yesterday we completed the banking project. In that we have seen the working of each and individual unit. If you remember one thing in Spring Core, how many dependencies we were adding? Spring Core, Spring Context. These two we were adding. And while we are so while we are generating the Spring Boot project, at that time we are not adding any dependency. So who is adding the dependency? अरे वॉइस में बहुत डिस्टॉर्शन आ रहा है, उसको ठीक करो। वॉइस स्टक नहीं हो रहा है, वॉइस बहुत गंदा आ रहा है, ज्यादा आ रहा है, कम करो। So now we will discuss that who is doing this part in Spring Boot, right? Increase करो। In, so like who is doing this part in Spring Boot? That day also I have given you a glimpse of it. That was something as Spring Boot starter, right? There was something as Spring Boot starter. Now we are going to see what is this starter. So first let's go back to project. Any one project we will open. So we will open any particular project. Let's say this first Spring Boot. In this project, this was generated from the website by adding the dependencies of Spring Web, or the starter of Spring Web. And these are the jar files that we are getting here. Am I audible to those who are joining online? Audible? Now audible or not? Fine. So here these are the jar files that are added into the project. Now there are lot of jar files, right? When we are seeing these jar files, there are lot actually. So there are a total of 63 jar files. 63. And we have not even downloaded a single of them. Who is downloading these jar files? All the jar files or the entire project is managed by this pom.xml file. So we will open the same one And this is how our pom.xml file is looking. In the dependencies section, there are only two dependencies. One is for Spring Boot Starter Web, and another one is for Spring Boot Starter Test. Only two dependencies are adding 63 jar files. I will remove the dependency of this starter web and I will save the file. Now we will check the Maven dependencies. So almost all the dependencies we are getting now also. So when I removed the C Spring Core, Spring Context, we are getting these dependencies. But when we are checking src main Java, here all the classes are having errors. So why they are having error? Spring Boot application is not defined. Why? The package is imported here. We are importing the package, but they are not available. Then why these jar files are still there? They might have been removed. We are having Spring Core, Spring Context, Spring Boot, Spring Boot Starter Test. So all these we are having. So what we will do now, we will remove the test dependency also and we will save the file. And now the entire Maven dependencies folder is not there. Went. It means that this test is generally giving us some of the dependencies. But even after having the dependencies for Spring Boot, Spring Beans, Spring Core, Spring Context, we are getting error in our project. The reason is very simple. This is a starter for test, not for the main development. So when you want to work on the normal server, you should have a normal dependency for that. Now this is a dependency Spring Boot Starter Web. You can have this and I will save the file again. All the dependencies will be there. It will not add any dependency, but you can access the Spring framework now. So we are going to discuss about this Spring Boot Starter. Like if it is there, how many other types are also existing there. All these things we will see. Spring Boot starters. So if you have noticed here, when we are removing the dependencies, all the Maven jar files are going away. So it means we can say that these dependencies are responsible for adding the jar files automatically. But in core Spring, we were adding the dependency of Spring Core, Spring Context. Like we were going to a website MVN repository. There we were searching for Spring Core and then we were adding the dependency like this one. Now we are not adding. We are just adding Spring. Even starter also we are not adding. Then how it is working? So we will see that now. Spring Boot starters. You know what is a starter in normal terms? In normal terms, what is a starter? To start something, right? That is only a starter. It can be a starter for any machine. It can be a starter of any instrument. It can be a starter of any particular electronic item. It can be anything. So that is called only the starter. But here it will be a little bit different. How we will define them? So we will define them like this, that is Spring Boot starter are the dependency descriptor. What are they? They are the dependency descriptor. So mention this word. What is this? Dependency descriptor. Why we are using them? They are used to and configure collect and configure all the required jar files. So when you are adding the Spring Boot starters, after that you don't have to download jar files or download other dependencies. Now in this case, I will remove the starter of web. Till now, I am not working with web part, means front end part or the web MVC part. I'm not working on any of them. Then I will remove. Then which starter we can add here? So again, website is same, right? Again, the website is same. That is MVN repository. And on this MVN repository website, I will search Spring Boot starter. Only this one I will search, Spring Boot starter. So at first we are getting Spring Boot starter test, then we are getting Spring Boot starter web, then we are getting Spring Boot normal starter, then we are getting Redis, then we are getting actuator, then we are getting AOP, then we are getting log4j, then we are getting validation, then we are getting security, and then we are getting data JPA. So as of now, this one is simple. Spring Boot starter without any extra word. So I will add it. So copy and paste. As this is a Spring Boot project, so you don't have to write version. You can keep or you can remove. It will automatically detect. So I have removed the version. There are only two things, group ID and artifact ID. So run it. So I have saved it and sorted. Now we will try to run our main file. Already address, student, these kind of things are there. I will run the project. Again, we are getting the Springs logo. Again, we are getting the values. Then what is the difference? Difference is this time Tomcat is not starting, right? It is not giving any message like Tomcat is started on port 8080. It's not giving a message like why? Because there is no web starter now. Web starter is not there. When web starter is not there, how it will run Tomcat? If web starter is not there, it means that we will not be having the dependency of Tomcat also. So yes, we don't have any dependency for Tomcat. What if we are adding the depend starter of web? So hyphen web. I will save it again. And now we got the jar file of Tomcat. So these starters are managing everything, right? That's why we are calling them as dependency descriptor. So how their architecture is working? Let's say this is your Spring Boot application. This is your Spring Boot application. And here you have a remote server. Remote server means which is not in your system. It can be any website. Now, this project is downloading jar files for me. It will be using some resource, right? It will be using some website or something it will be using from where these jar files are coming. So let's say this is your Spring Boot application and this is the remote server or jar files. What it is? This is the remote server for your jar files where all the jar files are present. Now what will happen? You will add a dependency here. How you will add dependency? It is added within the dependency tag. Now this Spring Boot app will talk to this remote server. It can be the MVN website also, anything. And it will ask, give me jar files. Give me jar files. This is the message. Give me jar files. Then remote server will ask, tell me the name of jar files. Because there are thousands of jar files available online. Which one this remote server should give? Now, even we don't know it is adding 63 jar files. What is the use of? Because once you are ending the course, at that time you will know. But now we don't know. So you said one thing that I don't know about jar files. I don't know about jar files, that which one jar file I will be having. But I know one thing, that is artifact ID. Artifact ID. Artifact ID means simply the name. And it's a tag, artifact ID. So what it will say, that I don't know the name of jar files, but I want to work with Spring Boot. What is your first requirement? Spring Boot. So I will write Spring hyphen boot, that I want to work with Spring Boot. Okay. So Spring Boot starter, that you will get the jar files. That group ID is also there. You will have one group ID as well. Group ID is just the package name. Group ID. Version is not required when you are talking about Spring Boot. Group ID. So here this remote server will read the starter, that okay, your starter is normal starter. Means you are just working on a normal Spring Boot project where you can create container, where you can create beans. That's it. You can do auto wiring. That's it. If you have added hyphen web also in the starter, you have added web also. Now what does it mean? It means that now you are trying to say that I am working on web part also. So how to work on web part? You need a server to run your web. So it will give you by default Tomcat server to run your web. So this starter is actually defining your jar files. Now, how the communication started? Your app asked the remote server that give me jar files. It gave a reply that tell me the names of jar file. We don't know the name of jar file. 63 jar files. Hardly we can name one or two. Spring core, spring context, spring bean. After that our quota is over. We can't say any other name. But we can help this remote server by one thing, with a message. You can read my starter so that you will get idea about my jar files. As this remote server already has that knowledge, this remote server already had that knowledge. This remote server already having the knowledge about starter, that okay, your starter is web starter, I will give you all the jar files that you will be requiring to work on Spring Web. Doesn't matter whether you use them or not, but I will give you. That is why I have written a word that Spring Boot starter are the dependency descriptor. Descriptor means that they will give a description about all the jar files. What they will give? All the jar files. Now I will say you one thing, that Spring hyphen boot hyphen starter hyphen web. It is coming with 63 jar files. Are you writing those jar files somewhere? Obviously, we are not writing those jar files. Means these four word or not even four word, this one word starter hyphen web is taking all the jar files that are required in your project. Means lot of automation is there. That's why people prefer Spring Boot over Core Spring, because in Core Spring you have to add all the dependencies by yourself. See how lazy we are becoming actually. Initially, we have to download jar files and add them, which became quite hectic. Then we thought, okay, now we will add dependency in pom.xml. So if you have 60 jar file, you will add 60 dependency. That is sorted. Instead of downloading the jar file, you will add 60 dependency. Now we are also not doing that. What we are doing? Add the starter. Now starter is for web. It will take all the dependencies that are required to work with web. If you did data JPA, data is for database, JPA is for Jakarta Persistence API or Java Persistence API. Means working with database. Understand that. So if you are writing a starter like this, data JPA, it will take all the jar files that are related to what? Database working, JDBC, Hibernate, JDBC template, row mapper, data source, everything it will take. Now there is no need of adding. Let's say I want to work with database also. So go to Maven repository, and here you were seeing data JPA. This one, Spring Boot starter data JPA. I will add the dependency of it. Copy, and I will simply paste it. You can paste it anywhere under the dependencies tag. I will save. Version is not required here, so can remove the version, and we will save. Now this Spring Boot project can work with front end and database as well. Complete project. This is complete project. Now see the number of jar files. So I will select all the jar files to check how many they are. 87. How many? 87. This is visible here, right? In the corner. 87 items selected means these are 87 jar files. Now think for a minute that you have to download all all the jar files and then upload in the class path. Means the first way was this. If you are taking 1 minute to download one jar file and add 87 minute. 1 minute for one jar files means total 87 minute. Round off it to 90 minutes. 1.5 hour in adding all the jar files. Then your came Spring Core that now you have to copy paste the dependency. At least you will search, you will copy, you will paste 30 seconds for adding the dependency. Now 87 jar files means you are taking around 45 minutes in just adding the jar files. And here 10 second, add one starter will take all the dependencies, all of them that are required. There is one Spring security that you want to work with security, you want to provide some security to your application. Spring Boot starter security. Actually, we will discuss about all these annotation starters. Security, data JPA is the next one that we are discussing. Version again, I will remove, it is not required in Spring Boot. Now let's say if we are talking about Spring security, it's a separate module that we will discuss. So we will select all of them again. 92. For Spring security, 5 jar files are added. So it's a quite hectic. The work of almost 1 hour is getting done in 1 minute. In the Spring Boot definition, I have written one word, RAD. Remember what is RAD? Rapid application development. That you can rapidly, means quickly, that quickly you can develop a application. That's why Spring Boot is RAD, rapid application development. And that's why we are saying starters as the dependency descriptor. That you add one starter, it will send all the description about all the jar files to this remote server. That I need 93 jar files, 63, 64, 82, 87, just by adding one dependency. Let's say as of now, we are not working with Spring Security. So I will remove it and I will save. So these jar files will automatically go away. They will not be no more there. So now you know the starters are intelligent also. They are not used for taking the jar files only. They are used for other purpose also. Now in this project, we are having starter of web, starter of JPA. JPA means Jakarta Persistence API or Java Persistence API, means related to database. Now we will try to run our main application, right? So we will run the main application and hopefully it will throw some errors. So yes, application failed to start. And I already know this, that this time it will throw error. The reason for error is failed to configure a data source. Failed to configure a data source. Data source means now you know how this application is working. This application will detect one data JPA dependency as a starter. Starter means something which will be beginning something. So when this application is starting, it will encounter or it will meet with this starter data JPA. What is the why we use data JPA for database? Are you giving details of any database here? No. So whenever this particular dependency is added here of this JPA, it will ask that where is database? If you run this, the same error it will say to you. Because of this data JPA only we are getting error. If you are adding this dependency, you have to give information of your database at any cost. So here it is telling you that application failed to start. What is the description of failure? Failed to configure a data source, URL attribute not specified, and no embedded data source could be configured. That neither you are giving any connection URL. Here URL means connection URL. You worked with JDBC or not? Are you sure that you have worked with JDBC? I am saying worked. Worked doesn't mean attending classes. Attending classes of JDBC and worked on JDBC is different. So if you have worked with JDBC, how the flow goes there, that you have to write connection URL, you have to write connection URL, you have to write admin ID or admin username and password, username and password. You have to write driver class name, driver class name. Then you have to write queries, then prepared statements, then input, then output. This is the structure. So in that way, this URL error is saying that you are not providing any data source URL, means connection URL. Second is failed to determine a suitable driver class. There is no SQL driver or Oracle driver is there. Now it is giving you something that if you want an embedded database like H2, HSQL or Derby, these are the embedded database, means they will come with the project only, no external. So please put it on class path, this is that. It is telling you. Simply it is telling that boss, there is no database and your starter is JPA. So I will not work. If I remove this JPA and now we are only having Spring Boot starter web and Spring Boot starter test. In that case, let's try to run the application now. And this time application is running fine, giving us the values also. So starter is very, very important. Anyways, you will understand starter when they are coming. Now web will come, JPA will come, but I'm giving you the overall detail of starter. So what are these starters? They are the dependency descriptor. They are used to collect and configure all the required jar files in the class path. In the class path of the application. Right now, what is their other work? These starters are doing something else. So yes, they simplify the Maven configuration as if we want to work with Spring Web. We are not required to add all the 60 dependencies. We don't want to write 60 dependencies. We can only add the starter of Spring Web. That is Spring hyphen start, Spring hyphen boot hyphen starter hyphen web. right? You can only add the starter like this, right? Now, this is a very simple definition for the Spring Boot starter. Now we will see what is their actual work. So already we have seen their actual work, that at first they will give all the jar files. Second, when project is starting, they will check that is there any requirement? Is there any requirement? I will show you one more thing. Let's say here I am adding the starter of security. I am adding the starter. Generally, this will come in the security unit, but I will show it to you. So here it is getting built. Okay. In this address class, we have lot of methods and all those. I will create one more class. It's not for teaching you, it is just for showing you, because teaching for this will come in MVC. Here I will create a class, anything, let's say home class. Now I will define my home class with at the rate of REST controller. Now REST controller means Spring can manage its bean. I will create one method here. Method is public string anything, let's say index method. Public string index method. Now as it is a string method, it should return a string hello and welcome. Just a simple message hello and welcome. I will write a mapping over this. Again, I am saying I am not teaching this here, just showing you. So just enjoy this. Get mapping of slash index. Now what I have done here, just created a simple API that if you are trying to fetch slash index, it will give this message. And removing the security dependency for a minute. Again, I will keep it back. Now I will start the main application. So here it will give message that Tomcat started on port 8080. Go to your browser and I will hit localhost 8080. So here we are getting white label error page because we are mapping something as slash index, means you have to fetch localhost 8080 slash index, and on index I am getting this message hello and welcome, right? I'm getting the message. Sorted. Now what I will do, I will keep the dependency of security and I will save it again. So saved, stop the server as it is web, so we have to stop, and again we will start the application. So wait a minute, this main class we will run again. So again Tomcat started. I will open Tomcat like localhost 8080 slash index, and now it is asking for password. Please sign in username and password. Now it is asking for username and password. What is this? We have not created any page, right? Are you creating any page? Sign up page? No. Automatically. Yes. Spring Security is working now automatically. Now, do you know username and password? We don't know. Username I will keep as user. So the default username is user, but password is not password. You are getting this in your mind? No, password is not password. When you are starting the application, your password will be visible in console. This is the password. Security password means this is your password. So I will copy this password and paste it here. Sign in. And now we got the message hello and welcome. Is it tracking also? Is it tracking means this particular website I have opened in Microsoft Edge. This one, right? In Chrome, I will try to open this. Same thing. Localhost 8080/index. Sign in again. But in Microsoft Edge, my session is running as I have already stopped using mobile. I think I should not say this daily. In Microsoft Edge, it is already running and I can cut the tab, open the tab again and fetch the same thing again. Here it is opening, but in Chrome, it is asking me to put the username and password. By default, it will give you one logout page as well. By default, it will give you one logout page as well. The same local host. Now it is asking, are you sure you want to log out? Yes, I want to log out. Now in Microsoft Edge also that page will not open because you logged out. You have to log in again for the session. So here user is user, password is already we have copied, sign in. Here we got now there is one thing related to security. I'm not saying hacking, it is related to security. Username we can change, right? In starting only, I said that username and password both you can change, but by default it is user. There is one particular part. So I will go to inspect and you will see a lot of these things, right? Like this, right? Console, sources, network, performance, memory, application. Like that, we will do lot of things. I will refresh the page here. On refreshing, I am getting something as this. And here my session ID will be there. Somewhere it will be there. Session ID or cookie ID. Session, this one. Can you see this? Session ID equals to D and this one. Is it visible? Session ID. Now, whenever you are logging into any app, is it your bank app? Is it your Instagram, Snapchat, any app? There will be one session ID. Now, this session ID is actually the key to open your account. I'm not teaching any hacking. This is for your security. Now, check this session ID. It is ending with A16, right? And we are currently in Microsoft Edge. Let's go to Chrome. Here also I will log in, user and password is the same, sign in. Here also I have signed in. Again I will right click and go to inspect and I will go to network and hitting the refresh button. Here also same thing we got and session ID will be there also. This one 2A8. Are they ending with different keys? Means for each and every user, different session IDs are created. Who is creating session ID? Two peoples. This Spring server plus your browser. Half half they are contributing. Now you can copy this session ID anywhere and it will logged in. Because let's say I will log out from here, log out. So now it is asking you want to log out. So I have logged out. Now refresh. Now you will not get any kind of particular ID here. The reason is you don't have any ID, but in age we will get one session ID. Now your browser check one thing. Do you have any session ID? This is my session ID. Now your browser will not remember you with username and password. It will remember you with the session ID. It will remember you with session ID. If you have session ID, logged in. If you don't have session ID, logged out. So this is how, but anyways, this came out of the box. I was just telling you the working of Spring Security. When you just added one dependency, that dependency is Spring Security Starter, and login, log out, password, user, session ID, everything is created automatically. That's why we call them dependency descriptor. When we added the dependency of JPA, it was saying you that you are not providing details of any database. You are not providing details of any database. When we added the dependency of security, it is telling that now this application is secure. You have to write the username and password to open this project. So these things are there with these starters. Every single thing is automatically written. You don't have to write code. Did I written any code? No. I just write a code for creating this API so that this hello and welcome message is visible on the web. That's it. Now if I run the application again, just removed the dependency of security. Rest everything is same. Now again I will try to fetch localhost index page. Now no password, nothing. Directly you can access. So all that security was provided by Spring. Today I will show you one application of Spring that is live and how it works, how APIs are called, how database is written. I will show you. But before that, let's understand this particular starters. Now, I hope you got a idea about starters, that they are actually the backbone here, adding jar files, checking the application for their things, and lot they do. So now what we can say, what are the importance of Spring Boot starters? Starters are in Spring Boot. Remember, they are not inside Spring Core. If you are using Spring Core, you have to keep all the 93 jar files. If you are working with Spring Web, database and security, all 93 jar files or dependencies you have to copy paste. No other chance. Here we are just doing three. So what is the importance of Spring Boot starter? So the very first, I will keep this architecture, this one, because this is how it works. So like this, it will work. But check my starter and give me all the related jar files. When you're talking about the importance of Spring Boot starters, so they comes with jar files are automatically adding and having security. Yes, if you are adding the starter for Spring Security Starter or Starter Security, let's see what are the importance. So the first importance is a starter is essential for pom.xml file or Maven to configure all the related jar files. It comes as a bundle. It comes as a bundle of jar files. When you are adding dependency of just Spring Web, 63 jar files are coming. Required, all required will come. You don't have to add Spring Core, context, bean, AOP, actuator, logging. No. Whatever you will use will come. So you don't have to worry about jar files. The time, around 1 hour or 2 hour time that you were investing last time is all sorted now. Okay, one more thing. Yesterday, one student sent a problem that he was running the file and he was getting could not find or load main class. So in that case, you are running the src main files from here or you are running the test files. So don't do that. This is the top src main Java, which is the class path. Run your class from here, right? Don't run because they are the pirated copies of your class. It is the main class, which is in your class path. So we'll see starters. So starter, it comes as a bundle of jar files, or you can say related dependencies. Related dependencies. So this is a starter for you. Second is why it is important. On the launch of application, it will check if everything is configured properly or not. If everything is configured properly or not. Like how? Just we give an example. For example, if we have added the starter for data JPA and we have not provided database connection, then it will throw error. Then on the launch, we will get error. Why we will get error? Because you are using data JPA, so you should at least provide connection to your database so that your Spring can write values in your database, right? This is the second importance. Third one is, what is the third one? It simplifies, it simplifies the dependency management. Means you don't have to worry about them, simply it will do. Some of the important Spring Boot starters. So here I will write some of the important Spring Boot starter. The first one is Spring Boot starter. This is the main line. Spring S small. This is the main line. Main line means after this Spring Boot starter. After this, you will have hyphen and star, means values will come after that. These three are the main words. After this, starters will come. So the first one is normal, Spring Boot starter. Second one is Spring Boot starter test. Spring Boot starter web. Spring Boot starter data JPA. Spring Boot starter security. Spring Boot starter theme leaf. Spring Boot starter logging, Spring Boot starter AOP, aspect oriented programming, Spring Boot starter mm, log for J2, log for J2, simple like this only. Spring Boot starter cloud. When we will discuss about Spring Cloud, test web security and time leaf logging logout. Logout is not a starter. It will come with this security one. Log 4j2 Spring. Okay, these are the main ones. Let's keep etc here. Whenever they are coming in the module, we will discuss them. But these are the main one. Now, I think even if I'm giving details about them, you will not understand. Let's say if I'm talking about time leaf. For that, you should know JSP first. What is JSP? You should know JSP syntax. So we will see them whenever they are coming. This JPA is coming in next 2 days only because we are working with database now. So these are the Spring Boot starter. I hope you understood it properly. If you have any question, please go ahead. If you have any question in Spring Boot starter, go ahead and ask. No questions? Okay. I think you said that Spring Boot doesn't have any XML file. Yes, you heard right. I said Spring Boot does not have any XML file. Now also I will say Spring Boot does not have any XML file. Now also I will say the same thing. Now your question is going towards form.xml, right? So this file is not of Spring Boot. This file is of Maven, right? See the project is having two words, M and J. M means Maven, J means Java. Even if it is a Spring Boot project, this is the XML file of Maven. This is not your Spring file, right? This is the file for your Maven. I said that you will not write any Spring, let's say Spring dependency injection using XML. We were creating a XML file, application context.xml. We were creating one file that is application context.xml, where adding the DTD, defining the bin. This file will not be there in Spring Boot, right? This pom.xml file is the XML file of Maven, not Spring Boot. I hope now the confusion is clear. Loudly, loudly, please. Can we add Spring Boot starter? Asterisk, no. Do we need to write the URL of database in the dependency, also remote server concept? No, you don't have to write URL of. That's why I was saying that even if I'm discussing them, you will not understand that where we will provide the connection URL. And the remote server concept means in this project, lot of jar files are coming and we are not adding any jar file. But if our project is getting these jar files will be coming from a server, right? If we are talking on bulk level, this is the website, MVN repository. But in this application, we are not going to that repository also. So for that's why I said remote server. Remote means you don't have any physical connection with that. I will give one example for it. I hope everybody knows about Google Drive. Google Drive, where you can upload your data. Generally, we use that for uploading our contacts so that they are safe. Do you know where, in which location that is stored? Where is the data center of Google? We don't know, right? For us, it's a remote server. We are using AWS, we are using GitHub. Where is they are storing the real data? They will be having one physical computer, right? See, for you, it is cloud that okay, we are storing on cloud, but for them, it is physical. Okay, one general knowledge question. Where are the data centers are located? Data centers of Google, Microsoft, like that, cloud. So there, cloud means top. Huh? No, all the data center, mostly in USA, but all over the world. Yes, that is also right answer, but exact answer in C. Understand C? So all the data centers are dipped inside the sea. Strange, right? I will show you. Yes, for cooling purpose. I will show you one picture. So few years back, Microsoft was doing the cleaning of the data center. So they take out their data center out of the sea because obviously it is made up of iron and steel. It will get rust like this, and they turned this into this much clean. Why they are don't get on the size? This is actually bigger than this building. This small capsule is actually bigger than this building because 1 lakh computer, 1 crore physical computers are running inside it every single second without even a 1 second power failure. So see how much noise they will be generating. Forget the other thing, right? So what they are doing, they are dipping that inside the water. Now 1 lakh computers are running. Electricity consumption is high. If electricity consumption is high, means lot of power is required. Lot of power means transformer or generators will get heat up. No need. Go inside water. But it is completely packed. So let's say you are using Microsoft's Azure. Like Amazon has AWS, Microsoft has Azure. Same is with Google, and everyone kept their data center inside water. C means lot of water. So that let's say for you, you stored something in Google Drive, but for you it is virtual, means remote. Let's say you stored something in Drive, Google Drive. I can say I have stored my data in cloud. For me, it is cloud, means I don't know the location, but Google know location. Okay, that Shivam's data is in latitude 12.30 in C. So like that, they know my location, that exactly in which computer my data is stored. I don't know that location, right? So this is the Logic of storing data in cloud and physically. For you, it is in cloud. Cloud means you don't know the location. Same way, we don't know the location from where these jar files are coming. For me and for you, we can say remote server. Remote server means we don't know the location. Now this Spring Boot app is taking these jar files. You know the server? No, we don't know. Now one question. In India, do we have any data center? No. Where? If we are having any data center, where is it located? India, India. US is in India. Where? Next to Hyderabad? I'm talking, do we have any data center in India? Indian Ocean. Whose data center? Nikhil, in Hyderabad, Mumbai, etc. No. The cities like Mumbai can never have a data center. There is reason behind it. Data centers are always kept at a location which is not too much expensive. Mumbai is like hell like expensive. Second thing is it should not be a public residential place. It should be far from public. So there are two data centers in India. One is in Pune and one is in Noida. So there are two data centers in India that are running. Third data center is being built in Hyderabad. I think near Samshabad or I forgot the location, but yes, it is being built. It will take around next to 5 to 6 years to get built and run. Stop using mobile. I am saying last time. If you want to use, please go out. I don't have any problem. So these two are running data centers in India. Now, do we have any C in Pune and Noida? So answer is no, because they are comparatively small data centers. So these are the remote server concept. Understood the remote server concept now? Okay. So this was all about Spring Boot starters. Whenever time is coming, let's say now we will study data JPA. We will tell you the meaning of this, importance of this whenever they are coming, not now. So this is Spring Boot starters. The next module, I think I have given you the Spring's architecture from the Spring's website. This one. This is the architecture of Spring framework, which is given to you by Spring itself. Now see the core container. This core container was the first part. Beans, core, context, and expression language. I just gave a glimpse of expression language because we will use that in data access and web part. We are done with the core container. Means one unit of Spring application we know now. We know about beans, application. This context means application context, container. Core means Spring core. All we know all about these things. The part that we are going to start now is data access and integration. Means how your Spring application will access the database in which you might be seeing JDBC, ORM, JMS, OXM, and transaction. So this is our next module. But there is a question arising. Why we need Spring JDBC module? So we are starting now Spring JDBC module. Why we need it? We are already having our JDBC, right? We studied this in advanced Java. JDBC. When we are already having JDBC, why we need Spring JDBC? So there is a reason behind it. Spring is doing a lot of automations. So how the JDBC's step looks like, you have to create connection URL, driver class name you have to write, you have to give the queries, means like you will give admin username and password, you will create queries, you will create prepared statement. Now, what if I'm telling you that Spring will take care of all these things? You don't have to write. Means we will give values, but Spring will take care of them. So that is Spring's JDBC. We will start it from tomorrow, but I'm giving you glimpse that Spring will take care. Closing the connection, opening the connection, creating queries. This is the hectic thing. I know databases and I will write some of the databases on which I have worked. MySQL, Oracle, these both are same as they use SQL only. I have worked with Cassandra, PostgreSQL, PostgreSQL and MongoDB. There are some other databases, but not databases actually. They are Apache Spark and others, HBase. I have worked with these many databases in real time, I'm talking about. So the most hated movement of all these things was writing SQL queries or writing database queries. I was like, hmm, why we are doing this? So as a Java developer, you don't have to write query. So while we are working with Spring JDBC, you will not write any query. Isn't it surprising? Then how data will be stored in our table? Spring means Java will take care of it. Let's say you want to add the name and ID of student in a student table. So we will say insert into student values 1 comma Shrikar. These are the things that you will write, right? No, here you will not write. How you will write? You will write ID equals to 1, name equals to Shrikar. Sorted. Int ID equals to 1, string name equals to Shrikar. That's it. No query. Java will take these values and send them to database automatically. So that we will do. Today I will show you one website or one application actually that is running on Java ecosystem. Java ecosystem means everything is built using Java. It is built by me only. I will show you all the database, it's how it will work, how it is created like that. So this is the website. We'll open it. Just wait a minute. So this is the website, that is Job Hunt, and it will open for you first time. Let it get load first, like this. Now it is a working website and it is from my production. My production means we are doing it. Now we have stopped working on this website where you can search for jobs, right? You can post the jobs, lot of things you can do. Now I will show you the database of this website. I will log in into my account. Just wait a minute. So this is the control panel. It is hosted and everything is live. This is the control panel of this website. Ignore the ads. And this is the website. Now let's say where is the database of this? So here I will connect the database, and now this is the database. One database, and these are the tables. 123 tables are there in this single website. Now there is one table as users. Here. This is the users table. Now we are having these many users. Let's say 46 is the user count as of now, right? You can check the last entry is of 46. I will create one more user now. So log in or register. We will register. When you are registering to a website, it will give you two options. You can register as a candidate or you can register as a employer. Candidate means you are searching job. Employer means you are giving job. And both of these will be different. Their page will be different, their function will be different. Let's say at first I will register myself with a candidate. So I will say candidate at the rate of gmail.com. Some password I will create, confirm password. Just taking a bit time, so just hold on a minute. As we have stopped working on this from many months or years, so it's got slow. Now we will register again, register as a candidate. So candidate at the rate of gmail.com. Some password I will create. Check now. Now we have registered ourselves. Now it will load the dashboard for us. Now this is the dashboard of user. Candidate 74105 automatically generating one username. Now if we check this value in database, are we getting? So candidate 47th entry, candidate at the rate of gmail.com is the ID, and check the date 16th of April 2025. Time is not in the Indian time, right? It's 3 means 1501 means 3 p.m. It means that your data center is at a place where it is afternoon 3 right now. The web data for me it is in cloud. I don't know where it is, right? What will be the time this time in California? 8, Singapore 11. Maybe any of these European country then. It means my data center is at a place where right now it is 3 p.m. Means afternoon 3. Everything is getting created. So that is how it took the values from here. Now, as a candidate, I will go to home page. Now, a candidate is logged in here, 74105, something like that. I will search some job. Here I will search for any software engineer job. If it is available. So here one job is available for software engineer. I will apply to this job. So open. Now these are the things that application will end on April 20th, 2025. This is the company and everything is fake here, created by us. But the working is, let's try to apply now. So hit the apply button, write the full name, email address, some phone number I will write here, any message to the HR, anything, any random message. You can upload your CV in Word format or PDF format if you have applied to the job. Error, okay, maybe because of this CV. So in that case, you can apply. So when you are checking the user dashboard, so it will apply, it will come here. All these things are done by Spring Boot that there you applied on any other page. It will reflect here. One option we are getting for job post means you can post a job. Who is this? Candidate or employer? Candidate. And candidate cannot post a job. Let's try to post a job. What Spring is doing. So Spring is saying this line that you need to log in with employer account to access this page. Spring checked the session, that what kind of session are you having, candidate session or employer session. If you are having a session of candidate, sorry, you can't access this page. So this is called authorization. What is it called? Authorization. So that is how these things works actually. And these are the users. So here I am the admin. You can see at the top, created in 2024, last year. So these are the things that goes straight away here. This is a SQL database where you can write your queries also at the top. You can see this query section. There you can write query also. So let's say here I will write, first understand the structure and browse. I will find user underscore email. This is the field name, column name that you know, user underscore email. I will try to find the email whose email ID is candidate at the rate of gmail.com. So the same query I will hit. Select asterisk from users where user underscore email is equals to I will write the email of the user, right? I will write the email of the user. So here it should able to find the value of me, right? It should able to find the value. So when you are writing these kind, but this is a production, right? This is not the local server. This is remote server. Remote server means production, and here we can't take risk. A single wrong query, and everything is gone after that. So these kind of things you can do, search. I will show you one more application, not today, time is not there. I will show you one social media application. Hopefully before tomorrow's class, I will show that social media application. In that also, I will show you where Spring works. Database I can show now also. That is a mobile application actually. We need to install it someone's phone. So we will install in yours, okay? You use too much. So in that meantime, you can use also. So you know that on Instagram and Twitter, there is a feature of blue tick. Understand blue tick? Verified users. Generally, celebrities has that blue tick. How that blue tick is given? Logic of blue tick that I will show you in your app in my application. How blue tick is given. Let's say you are doing something illegal activity, any kind of illegal activity. Your account will be suspended. How that account is get suspended? So who is monitoring the account at the top? Let's say Instagram is saying that uploading the picture of laptop is not allowed. Just a rule. It is allowed, but let's say Instagram has announced one rule: uploading the picture of laptop is not allowed. And you are uploading the picture of laptop. So you are breaking the rules. Now, how Instagram will track it and deactivate your account or disable your account, right? So, and most important, the thing that I want to show you, how social media applications are reading your data. I'm not talking about one social media application. All are same, right? All of them. Why all of them are same? If you talk about WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram, all these three are the product of Meta. Meta means Mark Zuckerberg. These three apps are from the same company, that is Meta. So if Facebook is doing something, Instagram will do 110%. So I will show you their security also, how they claim, right? Let's say today you will drop a WhatsApp message to me for the first time. You will get a message. The chat or the messages with this chat are end-to-end encrypted. Something like that it will show. Chats are end-to-end encrypted. Like that you will get these messages. But are they really encrypted? What is the level of encryption is running? So there is no security in your data, right? And I have experienced it many times, like literally many times experienced it and faced the situation, right? I will, uh, let's say I'm talking to my family members, my mom, my father, anyone, and they are asking me when you will come back. So I'll say that I'll come on 10th, just a normal date. I'm saying that I will come on 10th. Just after the call, if I'm opening my any social media, I will get flight ads from Hyderabad to Delhi. These are the flights, this, that. After cutting the call, I will get that. And it happens with you also. Just because you don't notice it, I notice everything. So you will get it. You talk anything over the call to your friend. Within second, you will get that ad. Isn't there is no magic? Not at all. You try it, right? You chat with your friend about any place, about any product, about any app. Let's say you talk about any single app, any you want, and see the magic after that. Open your Google, Instagram, you will 110% get that unless and until you have premium. Premium means no ad. You will be having that. So how they are able to track you? Mostly while playing the games. No, you will get ads everywhere, right? Everywhere. Just now I opened one website, and in that website I was getting some of the ads, right? I will show you one more time. So I will open it again. I will open this website and we will track at least one or two ad. Generally, you know that I'm running a company also, and our focus is always on delivering good deeds on the to the customer and all. Before coming to this class, I was talking to one of my employee about some leads of, and see the ad now. Turn your knowledge into new customer. Just before the starting of this spring class, I was talking over call over to one of my employee that okay, we'll do this, that. Means I was instructing them. The same ad is related to that. And I'm showing it live. I'm not doing any magic here. All of my ad will be related to either flights or either these kind of things. Startups, ideas, programming language, Java, this, that. Because in 24 hours, around 16 hours, I'm talking about those things only. Either on chat, either on call, except sometime when I'm sleeping. So this is the ad. Let's see if second, third ad is coming. Marketing again. So these are my ads. If you open it in your mobile or system, they will come on the basis of your choice, what you are searching. Because if I am a person who is driving a company, I will focus more on marketing, generating customers. So same ads I'm getting, right? That is how they are tracking everything, every single thing. As of now, you can't make yourself too much secure, but there are some of the security that you can do. One thing that you can try as of today. So, before your spring batch, I was taking the spring classes here only, and spring security module was going on. So I was teaching that, and one student came up and said, "Sir, how is it possible to track this, that?" I said, "Okay." I said, "Lock your mobile and give it to me. Keep multiple password if you want." He locked it, gave it to me, and I just started reading where he traveled from last 7 days. I will not say the place name obviously here. So one, two, three. And on three, he ran away and snatched the mobile. I just generally he was very frank with me, and so no, no, sir, don't read after that. So I said, you can lock everything. The biggest hacker of your mobile is this. Biggest. Shocking, right? Your calculator. Do one thing. Now, nowadays, mobiles are adding lot of security. Open your mobile, go to settings, go to apps, check calculator. After the class, keep it in your pocket now, Shankar, and just check how many permission your calculator is having. Permission from you. It will have permission to your gallery. It will have permission to your maps, to your contacts. Why my calculator need gallery access? Why my calculator want to open gallery? Why my calculator want to open my apps? Shocking, right? Yes. But your calculator actually has access to your gallery, to maps, and to contacts. Now, what is left in your mobile? Everything is in gallery only, right? Uh-huh. Yeah, for iPhones also. For iPhone, this is the thing, Safari. Yes, you can stop this. For iPhone, Safari is the biggest thing. In China, there was a hacking competition. One hacker hacked the iPhone within 10 seconds using this Safari browser of them. Nothing is safe actually, but there are some standards that you can take. So, and I have worked in this hacking field, so I know many, many deep truths that you are not even aware of. These are the things. So, whenever you are doing something which you don't want public to know, please make sure that you don't have your mobile or laptop at that time with you. Uh, I'm telling you that if you are doing something that you want to keep secret, you are traveling somewhere, you are not telling that to your parents, you are going on a secret trip, make sure that your mobile is not with you. You are having a keypad mobile. That is fine. Anyways, fine guys, let's connect again tomorrow. Have a nice time, everyone. Bye bye. Take care. You can also leave now.